What began as superstition and paranoia has spiraled quickly into a whirlwind of deceit and secrecy. Tune in now for the final conclusion of I'm pretty sure my niece is trying to kill me. Hey guys, welcome back. My name is Edgar, and this is Historical Conspiracies. You guessed it, tonight we have another installment of story time. We're going to be finishing up that story of I'm Pretty Sure My Niece is Trying to Kill Me by Evelyn Bertrand. So let's get right into this, because I'm looking forward to finding out the end. It isn't here, I heard my sister say from inside the room. She sounded angry and frustrated. Look again, commanded a voice, one that echoed through the room like it was a church. Its bellows rang for a second longer after the command was given. It is here. We should have waited until Grandpa was inside, she said as I tiptoed into the room, my back flat against the wood panel next to me. I crouched down behind the chair in front of me so I could listen. At least then. I told you, it must be found by the Chosen One, Mangor said. You are marked. You are chosen. Now look! I watched as Mangor stepped into view. Even though I'd seen him when I was a kid, he was more terrifying than I remember, and for one very strange reason. He looked human. He had dark olive skin, black hair, and stood tall and firm, his green eyes peering over the bookshelves, his mass of black hair rained down over his shoulder, acting like a cape as he strode back and forth behind Cassie. But even from my hiding space, I could see what had terrified me all those years ago. In the light of the fire that had been started in the fireplace, his veins were solid black. Every time he spoke, his skin would disappear, leaving only flesh and bone exposed. And his eyes that shone so bright green, they were crystals glowing in the sockets. If your sister shows up here before we have the book, we are lost, he warned. I am barely here because she pulled some stunt. This was not how things were meant to be. You promised me she would blame the child. She will, Cassie said, standing up. She looked terrible. She'd lost a significant amount of weight, had bags under her eyes, and seemed to be stooping. She is just trying to figure out how to control Audrey. Everything is fine. You worry too much. Beside me, I could hear growling again. It was loud enough that it gave Mangor and Cassie paused, both of which looked towards me only to be met with the massive wolf that had led me upstairs. What is this? Mangor's voice ravaged the air, dropping every word like a bomb. The entire house shook at his surprise. The wolf said nothing and just growled, baring its teeth. Slowly it moved into the center of the room, passing Mangor and focusing on Cassie. She backed up into the wall, and the wolf turned its head towards me and howled. As it did, the chair I was hiding behind scraped across the floor, leaving me exposed. You! Mangor screamed. Jumping into the air, he dropped all of his weight on me before I could move. You deceitful little curse! With one hand on my neck, he dragged me up until my feet no longer touched the floor. I could see into his crystal eyes and felt the fear, the dread from all those years ago rush into my head. "You can't," Cassie said from the wall. "Audrey needs to do it." "No," Mangor said, smiling. He unfurled a large scaly tongue made of knives and dragged it across my neck. I gagged at the smell of death and rotting flesh. Then he tossed me across the room to Cassie. "Kill the wolf, then kill her. It's her protector." Cassie took one look at me and the wolf. Then she fell apart. "I'm not strong enough," she said, screaming as the wolf growled at her. She looked at Mangor. "Kill it." "I can't touch it," he snarled, unsheathing a knife from his belt. "You have to do it. You wanted this. You asked for this." Mangor tossed the knife in the air towards Cassie. And this might be the only time that I had a plan that actually worked. Even though my vision was going, and I could feel my heart working to combat whatever that thing put into my body, I had a plan, and it worked. Well, it kind of worked. I body slammed Cassie into the wall as she grabbed the knife and managed to get it away from her. That's when the wall behind us gave way. It literally disappeared. Once we were through the wall, it was back. And I could hear Mangor banging and thrashing at the wall, howling. Cassie and I stood up, not saying a word to each other, and realized we were in a long hallway that opened to a small room at the back of the house. We could both see something glowing in the room. I saw a pedestal or a pulpit with something glowing in a holder, but Cassie saw something else. "The book," she said, turning on me, brandishing the knife at me. "No hard feelings, Rose. I just never liked having a sister." All right, my gentle viewers, it's time for Edgar to go and get a glass of water. While I do that, why don't you guys check out a message from our sponsors. Alright guys, I'm back and ready to get going. With that last word, she thrust the knife into my shoulder and twisted. The pain I felt was indescribable. I can only say that it seared my veins and felt like I was being cut from the inside out. With the last of my vision, I saw Cassie running back towards the room. And then something came out of me. Something I wasn't expecting. It was pure, unadulterated rage. It spewed from my pores, raced down my legs, filled my skull, and came out in a roar so loud I could feel the windows shattering throughout the house. Even without my vision, I could see. I got up on my feet, struggling as I was losing a lot of blood, and charged down the hallway. My only saving grace in this moment was that there was absolutely nothing to run into. I only heard Cassie's scream before my vision came back. There I was, in a room with only a pulpit, lit candles, and bay windows. And I was holding a petrified human heart while my sister clutched her chest. I looked down to my sister, who had collapsed next to the pulpit and was using it to prop herself up. "Rosie, my dear Rosie," she said in a sing-song voice that I've always hated. "Give me the book. I'm dying. Give it to me. We can work this out." She kept talking, but I looked back at my hand. This was no book. It was a heart, a human heart. Petrified, yes, but it was a heart. And even before the howl of the wolf sounded, I knew what to do. "Everything will be all right," was the last thing my sister said before I crushed the petrified heart between my two hands. And as the heart turned to dust, sifting through my fingers, I blacked out. I woke up yesterday morning in my mother's old room. The sunlight was strewn around the room in rays from the various windows that laid open and bare to the air coming in from the lake. I was alive, and I wasn't alone. Next to me was my grandpa, reading an old journal. He smiled as I woke up and put his hand out to me. "I know you're probably feeling fine and a little confused, but don't move too much," he said, moving forward to fluff the pillows behind me. "A lot has happened. You need time to recover." He handed me a glass of water and I took it, nearly spitting it out as soon as the liquid touched my throat. "Ah, right. Well, darling, you've gone through some changes," he said, sitting back down in the chair by my bed. "And I'm guessing you want me to fill you in." I nodded my head, then gasped as I saw the large black wolf sitting next to my grandpa. "Right. You two haven't been introduced. Rose, this is Argus," my grandpa said. The wolf sat up and put its head on my bed, close enough to my hand that I could feel it breathing, but not close enough that I could touch it. "Don't you worry. He's a friendly. He's been around a long while. He's your protector."
"Protector?"
"Yeah, darling. There's some things I gotta tell you. Now, I'm gonna tell you all at the same time, because you know me. Don't believe in dragging things out." That's true. It's cost him a fair few friends in his lifetime, but it is one of his best qualities. But I'll take time to get used to, so Cassie is gone.
"Dead?"
"I'm so sorry, sweetheart." He patted my hand. "But it's really for the best. She's gone, and so is Mangor. For now. You see, you managed to get to that book first, and you knew what to do. They weren't expecting that. So, he's gone. Oh, sure, he'll surface in a generation or two. But for now, we don't gotta bother with him."
"Come back?"
My throat was starting to feel much better.
"What do you mean?"
"You can't kill a demon, darling. You can only defeat him. He'll come back in a while. They like to play the long game. But for now, we're all safe."
"But there was no book,"
I said.
"It was a heart, a dead heart."
"Yeah, darling, I know," he said, tapping his foot on the hardwood floor. You see, there's a difference between being marked and being chosen. And let me just set it straight. When you're marked, you work for the demons. When you're chosen, you work against them. That's why you saw a heart, the reality of the book, while Cassie saw what she wanted, which was the book. Make sense?
I nodded, even though right now I still don't understand it.
"We haven't had a chosen one in this family for generations," he mused, "and we don't ever really know unless a marked one shows up in the same family. So it's been a while. You don't show your true nature until it's time, sweet pea. But you did what was hard, but necessary. I'm so proud of you, but you didn't destroy the book.
I did. I crushed it. It went to dust.
No, darling. My grandpa patted my stomach, which seemed a bit sore. Take a look.
I moved the sheets off my stomach and saw something that even right now I can see and still can't believe. There, sprawled across my stomach, from my rib cage to my hips, are words. Words written in my skin, glittering in gold in the sunlight. And even though the symbols didn't look familiar, I could understand the words. They're still spinning in my head now, but they seemed to move and change the minute I read the sentence. I took a few minutes to collect myself. I was tired. I felt sore all over. I had lost Cassie, but I felt different, renewed, refreshed, reborn.
Now, darling, here's the thing. Your ma and daddy are on their way home. The family's getting together because now the hard work begins, and it's gonna take all of us to deal with what's coming. The old man got up and sat on my bed, holding my hand. But there's something else. Audrey needs a place to live. Her mama's gone, and I think...
She can live with me and Harry, I said. The words were out of my mouth before I could stop them, but I knew I meant every word of it. It's best if she stayed with family.
My, you never cease to amaze me, Rosie Posey, my grandpa said, a twinkle in his eye. Well, I took it upon myself to collect her from the Dulux. She's here now. I'll go and get her. And that was yesterday morning. I've been sleeping on and off ever since, having terrible dreams about Cassie and the things that used to happen in this house. But everyone's begun showing up. Harry and my parents are here, Vera and Blake, Eric and Audrey. Some of my grandmother's friends are here too, and the house feels like it's alive again. I'm still pretty confused as to what's going to happen to me next. Grandpa says that now that the marked ones know a chosen one is around, there's going to be a war. I have to get ready. But I take solace in not just having a great family around me, but the traces of the book etched on my skin have brought me a new friend. Her name is Lilith, and she will be my teacher. I am hoping I will have no further stories to tell, but if so, I will be back. I also have other stories from my past that will give you a better idea of what my town is like, and what the people here are like, and how even if you don't believe in magic or the unknown, that doesn't mean they're not watching you, waiting for you, hoping you will fall into a trap of their design. Well then, that was not the ending I was expecting, but I hope you guys enjoyed the story as much as I did. I know it was a long one, but it was worth it. Well, on that note, I guess I will see you guys next time. Thanks for joining me. And if you get a chance, please check out our sponsor, bizbin.com. Until next time, my name is Edgar, and this is Historical Conspiracies. Have a creepy day.